Hey friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby and today we're going to be discussing my August TBR. Can we believe it's already August? Cause I can see it's lost in the memory, August slipped away. It's absolutely insane how fast this year is flying. I can't believe it. But anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be not only letting you know about the August book troop pick and all of the information, as well as the September book troop pick and the co-hosts. I'm also going to be pulling 2 more prompts out of my Patreon prompt jar for the month, and I'm also just going to be letting you know about some of my reading plans and video plans that I have for the month of August. So first things first is that the August book troop book club pick is going to be A Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing, which I am so excited about this being the book troop pick for the month of August because I'm a pretty big fan of Samantha Downing. I think I've pretty much loved everything that I've read from this author so far, and she's the same author as My Lovely Wife and For Your Own Good, and He Started It, just to name a few, and all those are books that I've really enjoyed so far, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this one will be a little bit more of a like domestic kind of thriller because we're following this married couple named Wes and Ivy, and it says when their relationship is good, it's great and it's like the best thing ever, but when it's bad, it's really bad. Vengeful fights, damaged property, arrest warrants. It says their vicious cycle of catastrophic breakups and head over heels reconciliations needs to end fast because suddenly Wes and Ivy have a common enemy and she's a detective, and it says there's something that they never talk about the night of their worst breakup when one of them took things too far and someone ended up dead. So I am very curious to check this one out. The premise just sounds really interesting and I can't wait to see where this one goes. So I'm very excited that this is going to be our book club pick for this month. I'm also really excited to let you know that it's not just going to be the book troop book club show this month because we're actually going to be joining forces with the Literally Dead book club, which is Kayla over from Books and Lala. She runs the Literally Dead book club over on her channel. And so we're going to be combining our book clubs for the month of August and having one huge live show that's going to be streaming on both of our channels at the same time. It's going to be very exciting. We did this last year, and so this will be our second time doing this together, and so it's going to be so great. And it won't just be me and Kayla. We're also going to be joined by our friends Deja and Lexi as well, so I can't wait for this live show. I think it's going to be so fun, and hopefully this is a book that we all enjoy. And then I'm also so excited to let you know about the September book troop book club pick. So I had my Patreon vote on these 3 books. One of them would end up being our September pick, and if it wasn't obvious, because I know that I've already read the other 2, Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney ended up winning this poll, which I am so excited about. This book, Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney, is going to be coming out in the month of August, so it is a fairly new release. We're going to be reading it in the month of September together, and this is one that I could not be more excited about. I honestly don't really know too much about the premise of this one. I just know that it's Alice Feeney and that lately she has been writing some of my favorite thrillers, and I will be picking this up no matter what it's about. I will have the Goodreads information for this book linked down below if you want to go and check it out and see what it's more about, but I kind of want to go in knowing absolutely nothing because I just really trust Alice Feeney and she's become one of my favorite authors. And you know, Daisy Darker was her book from last year that ended up being like probably my favorite thriller that I read last year. So I just have really high hopes for this one. I'm hoping that this one's gonna be amazing. I'm also so excited to be joined by 2 friends for this live show in September. I'm gonna be joined by Ashley over from Ashley's Little Library, as well as Marcy from Marcy Reads. And I'm so excited to have these 2 back on. I think this will be Ashley's 2nd time joining me for the book troop, and I think this might be Marcy's 3rd time joining me back. I just really love having my friends on the channel. I'll have them both linked down below if you're unfamiliar, but they're both, you know, like thriller and horror girlies, you know, like they both read a lot of thriller and horror books as well, and I get so many recommendations from them. I feel like especially me and Ashley's reading taste, like we're always almost reading the same books. It's like so weird. Like I feel like Ashley's like my booktube twin when it comes to like reading taste and what we're reading at the same time. It's really wild. But I can't wait for this live show in September with Ashley and Marcy. I think it's gonna be such a blast. And before we do jump into the jar and picking out the prompts, I did want to let you know about a Patreon exclusive reading vlog that I'm going to be working on this month that I'm so excited about. So back in like 2016, I think was the first time that I read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And so for the month of August, I thought it would be really fun for me to do a reading vlog where I not only reread One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which has always been like one of my top faves from her, but then I'm also going to be watching the movie adaptation that just came out pretty recently. I noticed it's available to rent on Amazon Prime now, and so I got really excited about it because I've been putting off watching this movie for a while because I did think it would be really fun to do a video like this. I've been talking about this on my Patreon, how I've been wanting to do a dedicated reading vlog to something that has an adaptation and then watch that same adaptation within the same vlog. And because this is a reread, it's pretty much a guaranteed thing. I think that I'm gonna like this book again. I mean, God, it has been so many years, so like who really knows? But I'm so excited for this because I can't wait to watch the movie. I'm a huge fan of Simu. Like, Simu plays one of the guys in this love triangle situation, and so I'm really curious to see if my rereading experience of this will be as good as I remember this book being the first time, and to see if the movie is any good, you know? I mean, I'm a huge Simu girl, but otherwise, I don't know. I haven't heard too many great things about the movie, so like, we'll just have to see. That's going to be a Patreon exclusive video that I'm working on in the month of August, but I am genuinely so excited about rereading this. Like, I really hope it can hold up. Okay, should we do it? Should we do it? Let's go ahead and pick the first prompt. Oh, I'm scared. Okay, I've got one. What does it say? Oh, okay, Julia said to read a book with books. Oh, read a book with a book or books on the cover. Okay, I can make this work, right? Reading a book with books on the cover. I was gonna look at some of the books that I'm already planning to read this month to see if there's any books on the cover. Do these have books on the cover? No. Ugh. She doesn't have a book, she has a little coffee cup. I can do this, right? All of these books right here are books that are on my TBR, so like, there's gotta be something. Oh my gosh, I got it, okay. I was looking around my bookshelves and I was like, what the heck? You would think that books with books on the cover would be like a more popular thing, but it's really not apparently. Like, I just really struggled for like 10 minutes right now sorting through all my bookshelves trying to look for something, and then I was like, oh my god, maybe I can look through my audiobook collection, because on Libro I do have so many audiobooks, and I was just looking and the first thing that popped up is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, and like, do you see all the books on the cover? Like, there's a million books back here. I'll actually put the cover on the screen so you can see it right here, but like, what the heck? This is perfectly timed. I was actually really hoping to get around to reading Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood at some point this month, so that's pretty cool that this ended up working out perfectly. I am a little bit nervous about reading Love Theoretically because, you know, this is the same author as The Love Hypothesis, and I really enjoyed The Love Hypothesis, but then this author's, the last book that she came out with, God, I don't even remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, but the last book that I just read, I thought it was so similar to The Love Hypothesis that it was kind of like obnoxious, and so I didn't end up really liking the second book that she came out with. But this one, I've been hearing some pretty good reviews about it from friends so far. I'm pretty sure my friend Katie really liked this one, and I've heard that I think there's diabetic representation in this one, so that ended up working out perfectly, so thank you so much to Julia for that prompt. Alright, let's go ahead and pick this second one. It's so funny to me because some of these little papers are like turning yellow because they've been in here for like half a year, and some of them are more crispy white. Selena. Okay, Selena said read a memoir. It just says read a memoir. That's it. I can definitely do this. What memoir will I read though? I have a nonfiction tag on my Libro, so I just put any like nonfiction books that I'm interested, I just throw them into that tag. So I just have like a full list of books that I can choose from. But a memoir, whose memoir do I want to read? Oh my gosh, you know what? I've been so interested in checking out Page Boy by Elliot Page. And I do have this one on hold currently. How long is my hold? Oh my gosh, it says it should come in the next 4 weeks. Should I risk that? Yeah, I think I'll risk that. I mean, I don't know what else I would rather read at the moment. This is good because I do want to be reading more nonfiction. I feel like it was one of my goals, I think, for this year to start reading more nonfiction, and I really haven't. Like, I have not been following through on that goal at all. So maybe this would be a good one for me to read. I mean, if I don't get the audiobook hold in time, that's fine. I can just find something else to read. Well, that is so exciting. So thank you so much to Julia and Selena for affecting my TBR this month. I really do appreciate you. Right, and so as for the rest of my August TBR, my video plans, I am going to be working on another reading vlog this month that's going to be like, I have to keep reading books until I find a 5-star read, which I'm excited about and nervous about. Because the last time I did this, I had so much fun with it, but it's a vlog that's like really hard for me to plan for in a way, you know, because I never know if like the first book that I read is going to be 5 stars or if it's going to take me like the entire month. Like, I don't really know. But I know for sure that one of the books, I think the book that I want to start with for for that vlog is going to be Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Morena Garcia. This is the same author as Mexican Gothic, and I don't know if I necessarily think this book is going to be a 5 stars, which is why I'm starting with it. I just think this is something that I definitely want to read. This one, as far as I know, it's like a new horror book that's kind of like historical fiction. It just sounds cool because it says we're going to be following this talented sound editor, and she's working in the film industry in the 1990s in Mexico City. Like, I don't know, it just sounds like it's going to be an interesting time. I've enjoyed this author's writing before, so I'm just really curious to pick this one up this month. I also know for sure for that reading vlog, I'm going to be reading The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is one that I could not be more excited to be holding in my hands because this is the same author as The Dead Romantics, which was one of my favorite romances that I read last year, and so I have such high hopes for this one. Like, I'm actually banking on this book being 5 stars. Like, if this book is not 5 stars, I will be so severely disappointed. I know literally next to nothing about this book, and so maybe that's bold of me to assume that it'll be 5 stars when I don't even know what it's about, but all I know is that it's a romance, and I think it involves time travel of some kind. I'm pretty sure it's like a situation where she's in love with a guy maybe in the past. I don't really know. I don't know anything about this. I just know that it's Ashley Poston, so I'm gonna read it. I love The Dead Romantics so much that I just trust in Ashley Poston now. We trust. I would also really love to get around to reading The Possibilities this month. This one is a new, gosh, I don't even know if this one is more like contemporary or like literary writing or if it leans more sci-fi, because all I know is that it says a new mother ventures into parallel worlds to find her missing child in this mind-bending novel that turns the joys and anxieties of parenthood into an epic quest. So this could totally end up not being my thing at all, but it just sounds like it's gonna be so cool. One of my favorite things to read in books is like parallel universes, or like, you know, exploring the idea of like another world that's like really similar to ours, but like if you had made one different decision and things would be so different, like that kind of thing. The premise of this one also just kind of reminds me of like The Dream Daughter. Like, it just sounds like something that I've loved before. I would also like to read Hello Stranger by Catherine Senner because this is a new romance that I've been meaning to pick up. I was gonna read this in the month of July and I never got around to it. This one sounds interesting because we're just following this couple, and I think one of them, I don't remember if it's her or the guy, but one of them has like facial blindness, and that's something that I think would be really interesting to read about. I also have At the End of Every Day. This is one that I've been so curious to check out ever since I freaking heard of it, because first of all, this book compares itself, it says for fans of Ian Reid, okay, which Ian Reid is one of my top favorite authors. Like, he wrote my favorite book that I read last year, and so just that alone has me really intrigued. But it says this book, I think this is just like a weird, speculative, weird kind of like sci-fi book. I don't really know what the genre of this one is going to end up being, but it says a loyal employee at a collapsing theme park questions the recent death of a celebrity visitor, the arrival of strange new guests, and her boyfriend's erratic behavior, and ultimately her own sanity. It just sounds like it might be one of those books where the character is just like descending into madness, and it sounds like everything that I need, so I might try to read this for that vlog of like reading books until I find a 5-star, because what if? You never know. Then I'm also hoping to read this month this new thriller that's called I Did It For You. This one just sounds like it's gonna be like right up my alley with what I really like in thrillers, because the premise just says it's been 14 years since her older sister Eliza was murdered, and Greer's family has never been the same. Now there's been a similar killing in Greer's small Kansas town, a copycat according to the authorities, but Greer's convinced that there's more to the story, that Eliza's murderer had help all those years ago. And so we have a lot of my favorite tropes happening in this book. Like, I love the idea of like a copycat killer. I also love the idea of like someone returning back to their small town to like find out the truth about what really happened that night. And I also just love reading about sisters in general, so the fact that she's, you know, trying to uncover the truth, I guess, about what happened with her sister is also really interesting to me. And this one is pretty short. I don't know, I feel like this will be an easy one to fly through. It just sounds like it'll be so interesting. It's less than 300 pages, so like sign me up. I hope that this is one that I end up enjoying. So yeah, those are just some of my reading plans for the month of August. I'm very excited for all of the reading things this month. You'll have to let me know, what are you planning to read in the month of August? If you've read any of the books that are on my TBR and you think that I would enjoy them, then let me know which ones I should prioritize. And thank you all so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!